the idea that the WNBA is like sort of having this time where they're just firing a lot of coaches and whatnot, and the idea that the Indiana Fever took a coach that was actually successful, actually winning more games, and fired them, like, this is not a new thing. And Daddy, can you talk about that real quick?
Good morning, everyone. This is not unusual. I was telling Quita and Mama that I remember when the Chicago Bulls, before they became great, the coach for the Chicago Bulls was Doug Collins. Now, I know everybody remember that Doug Collins led them to the playoffs when Michael Jordan, when he hit that jump out the side, and then Doug Collins jumping all over the court, running all over, they made it to the playoffs. But even though he was a successful coach at the time, they fired him because they wanted to go to another level. So what did the Chicago Bulls do? They brought in Phil Jackson. And what did they do? They won 6 championships. Mm-hmm. All right, now another scenario is when the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. I'm a huge LeBron James fan, as Quita know. Mm-hmm. So Cleveland Cavaliers, they had a coach. I think his name was David Black, and he was coaching LeBron. But they ended up firing him, and when they fired him, they brought on Tyronn Lue. And what did they do? They ended up winning a championship. Now, I know everybody. Now, another scenario was the Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. The Golden State Warriors, they had a really good coach, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was a good pro player. Then he coached the Golden State Warriors when you had a young Curry. Mm-hmm. You know, you had the players were young, and Klay Thompson was young, and what's the forward name? Draymond Green. And Mark Jackson did a good job. He did a very good job with them. Mm-hmm. And then what did they do? They ended up firing Mark Jackson, and they brought on
Steve Kerr.
They brought Steve Kerr on, and of course, we know they started winning championships. So, WNBA and NBA fans, I know a lot of you all are upset, but unfortunately, things like this happen. So they are trying to go to the next level, and you got the star players here, and it's about winning. Coaches, you don't win, they are going to fire you. And I may mention to them, you know, people may not agree with me, but you're going to have to get some big names up in there for these WNBA teams. Now, they're going to have to reach down to the college ranks to get some of these players, and they're going to have to release some of that money. You want to win, you got to get a good coach. So, Golden State would not have won all them championships. But they probably, you know what? Golden State would have won the championship with Mark Jackson. They would have won with Mark Jackson.
Yeah, he would have got him there.
But they didn't
give him a chance.
I thought it was total. Everybody thought it was wrong what they did to Mark Jackson. Mm-hmm. He did not deserve that. He brought them. He had them when they were babies, and he did a good job. Doug Collins did a good job with the Bulls.
Yes, he did.
And then all of a sudden we look up one day, bam, they fired him. Like, what you fired Mark Jackson for? They fired Mark Jackson for Phil Jackson. You know, with David Black.
Steve Kerr.
I mean for Steve Kerr. So, things like that happen. So, just hang in there, WNBA fans. But the Indiana Fever coach, she led them to the playoffs. I just don't understand how they fired her.
And had 20 wins. But here's the thing, though. Like, she had success. I do think that there were times where it was like obvious, like, man, if they had somebody else as a coach, they probably would have won more games. Yes, she won 20, which was great, but like they would have, like, you could see holes in her as a coach, right? You could see like some of the missteps and whatnot. But still, she's a Caitlin Clark is a cheat code,
but
cheat code, and you can't have someone who's kind of still learning.
Okay, but still, she led them to the playoffs.
She did.
You could have gave her one more year,
at least.
But
at least
guess what?
Year.
Now these owners don't have. They say,
no
we
patience.
can't give. We ain't have no patience with you. You have to go like Witherspoon. She should have lost her job.
1 year.
But things like that happen. But you know what? We're gonna see what's happening. So hopefully they need a good coach. But WNBA, you're gonna have to start releasing that purse string to get some of these good coaches.
Yeah, because right now the two highest paid coaches in the WNBA is Nate Tibbetts, who was an assistant in the NBA. This is his first year with the Phoenix Mercury. He's getting paid a little bit over $1 million a year. And Becky Hammond is getting $1 million a year with the Las Vegas Aces. No other coach in the WNBA is getting anywhere near that amount. And so the Indiana Fever, their next coach, I think it's a good chance it's going to be Stephanie White. But if it's not Stephanie White, they're going to hit the new record. They're going to hit the new record. They're going to be paying whoever this new person is, they're going to be paying them close to $1.5 million a year. Because this is a team that needs to win. You have a money bank on your team. Mm-hmm. Her name is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me stir some up here a little bit, WNBA fans.
What you gotta say, Daddy? What you gotta say?
What if they reach down and a lot of WNBA teams reach down and get a Gino from Connecticut?
You gotta give. That's
or
$5 million
or some of these other coaches that I don't want to name who just won a championship, but you got to get that money up. Mm-hmm. So if you want good talent, you want to develop the talent you got to get some of these established coaches. Gino is about to, you know what, he ran his time up in college now. Okay, it's time to step up to the pros. You make him a good offer, here come. And guess what? Indiana Fever fans, he probably wouldn't mind coaching Caitlin. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, this is my little 2 cents. You all have a wonderful day. Bye!